Hi, how are you? How's your day going?
Greetings, my dear one. How are you?
I'm wonderful, wonderful. I love your hair wraps. They're
Oh,
absolutely beautiful. I
thank
love
you.
your. You're welcome. So for the first 15 minutes or so, it's just me. Ron is going to come in later. He had another appointment, and so
Sure.
right now it's us. And so happy to answer any questions that you have, hear more about your wins, and if other people hop in, we'll hear from them as well. But until then,
Mhm.
it's just us.
Well, that's good. One of the things are rolling. I, I'm getting podcast interviews every day.
Okay.
So they're coming. I just was looking on my email here. Some just came in just now. And
Wonderful.
one that was real exciting was the host interviewed me because she interviews everybody before she decides to schedule them to be a
Hmm.
guest on the show. And she interviewed me and we talked, and then she said, well, my shows are booked way out, so it'll be a while before you get back in. But she said, I'd like for you to write an article for my magazine. And
Amazing.
when you do that, then I will connect you for the available upcoming podcast interviews. So I thought that was really exciting. And I told her, I said, well, writing is my first love anyways.
Hmm.
So she has a major publication magazine. So she wants me to write an article about what I'll be talking about on the show. And so that was a real
Amazing.
plus.
Congratulations.
So
And I think that's why we really push podcasts because most podcasters are either business, I'm like they're doing more. They have something
yes,
going on in their way so
yes.
you can connect and contribute. That's amazing.
And so I thought that was real exciting. I hadn't even anticipated that because I haven't moved to the media. I just been focusing on the
Hmm.
podcast. But one question I do
Sure.
have is relates to the archives.
Okay.
How do you effectively use the archives? Say after I've sent, say maybe 3 to 4 follow-ups, do I put them in the archives or do I just hold them in the folder?
It's a great question. So archives are used for a few different things. One, you're exactly right. After you followed up for 3, 4 times, and if they haven't responded, then put it in the archives. Also, if someone says you're not a good fit, because that happens, is just part of the process, then
Right,
you can
right.
put that into the archives. You can make a little note. Have you seen where you can make notes
Yes,
as
I've been
well?
putting
Okay.
notes in after I do my follow-ups or those who have
Okay.
replied. I always put notes because some are ones that I need to follow up on
Hmm.
for in 2025. They're not booking now, but they'll be ready in 2025. So I made notes. So yes, I've been using notes, and those who I was not a good fit, I had automatically put them in the archives because I thought that would be the better place. But I'm looking at now the ones that I have responded that have not responded back, and I've sent maybe
Hmm.
about 4.
Yeah, it's time to put them in the archives. And
Hmm.
sometimes I've had people respond back after 2, 3 months because maybe
Yes,
they were having a really difficult, not a, they had a busy season and they were just getting back. So it's okay to put them in the archives now so things can just stay current in that in your database so you can track better.
right, right. Well, that was my only question for today was about the archives. I'm listening to everybody in terms of what they're doing, and I'm looking forward to
Mm.
the when we start the accountability. That should be real
It is.
exciting.
That's going to be really exciting. Especially you're going to push people to action as well. I think, we love when you can demonstrate the success and you're actually doing it and you're doing the work. So we'll definitely see the
This
fruits
is
of
I
your
like
success.
I don't know why people aren't jumping on, and it's fun because like right now the fun part is seeing how many you can get in for the week.
Yes, yes, you're
And
on the leaderboard.
yeah, so that we can play. So I play on the leaderboard. So I said, oh, here's my competitive nature.
No, we
And
love
that's the
that.
fun part.
And you're close. Let me pull this up and see where you are on the leaderboard right now. Oh, you're really close.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think you're
falling
just,
behind my
you know,
leader.
oh, we have another person coming in. So you're right
Okay.
behind Israel with
Yes.
10.
So I watched him. I said, okay, let me see what I need to do now. Yay.
So you have a few more people coming in today.
Good,
Great.
good. All right, good.
Hi, Catherine. How are you? Corey, welcome back.
Thank you.
Ron is going to be here just a few minutes from now. And so it's us, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay.
So any,
I was just gonna say for me, I did sign up yesterday.
okay,
So
great.
and then I still had it asked me to fill out a whole new profile, so I stopped. And then I can't remember if I emailed you, and I haven't looked at really email yet.
No.
Oh,
So
I think I emailed the automated email that came to me from admin at
okay.
Speaker. So whoever gets that admin and they may have answered me, I
Yeah.
don't yet, but
Well, you said it asked you to fill out another profile. What profile did you, can
well
you
I
walk
signed
me through or show me?
yeah, I think I don't know if I can show you very quickly, but when I signed up
Okay.
for the SpeakerHub Pro deal yesterday,
Yes. Hmm.
that I it then sent me I think a new email. Hey, congratulations, glad you signed up. And then that email I clicked on get started, I believe.
Yes.
And then it takes you to a whole new, hey, what's your first name? What's your last name? And I'm like, you should know me. I'm
You've done it
kidding.
before already.
Well, I have a the regular Speaker Hub account that I've set up
Got it.
everything in 4 or 5 days ago.
Yes. Okay. So thank you for bringing that up. Those
Yeah,
are different. They're different platforms and they're for different purposes. So the SpeakerHub profile that you set up
yeah,
is to is optimized for SEO so that people can find you, right?
yeah.
So people can go in and search and find you there.
Okay,
What you were sent to sign up is SpeakerHub Pro,
yeah.
and it is our database, and it's optimized to match you with speaking opportunities.
Yeah.
And so you have to fill it out again for
Oh,
now.
okay. I was thinking on the
It,
call
it
you said I asked a lot of questions and I didn't take in much probably,
yeah.
but I was thinking they would
Well,
migrate or could be migrated together somehow, joined
it's
together.
different.
Yeah,
We're working on getting there in a few months, but
yeah,
there are different purposes.
yeah.
And on the Speaker Hub Pro side, the AI does most of the work. So you don't have to write a bio again or put a bio in. You'll
Hmm.
literally put in your LinkedIn link, the URL to your LinkedIn page and your website, and we'll generate a bio that you can edit.
Ah,
And
okay.
so it's a lot less in terms of uploading information
Yeah.
than the profile.
Okay. All right.
And
No,
we can walk through it here if you like.
okay.
You know,
Well, yeah,
we're
no,
all about.
I don't think every night. Yeah, no, that'll be fine. I just want to make sure that I didn't want to type it all in again. Like, oh, Corey, we could have just
Mhm.
clicked the button.
Sure,
So
sure.
no,
We're getting
that's
there, but
perfectly
it
fine.
is
Yeah.
definitely not as much information. You won't upload pictures or photos. You'll upload a
Okay.
profile picture, but there are no photos. And um on the speaker profile, you put in your topics that you discuss in presentations. None of that happens on the other side.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep, it's completely totally different.
Okay. Perfect.
Any additional questions? Or was that, yeah, let me pull. Actually, I'll show you. So what you'll fill out is actually the branding kit.
Hmm.
No, the branding kit is what will be filled out, but you'll put in your URL, your
Yeah.
LinkedIn, your email, and then it'll pull everything. You'll adjust your signature on this
Okay.
side. You'll decide if you want your profile visible or not.
So it should be this long, pretty much, so that which is way this is like one page versus like 8 pages.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not even one page. I mean, AI created this for me. I
Oh, okay.
didn't I didn't write that at all.
Okay.
I just put in my LinkedIn and if I didn't like it, I just clicked regenerate with AI
Nice.
and you see that it'll write a slightly different bio. And then you can add your topics. It asks you to do that. The other thing that you'll see, Corey, on that side is will ask you to set your goals. So how many podcasts do you want per month? How many speaking engagements? So you go through a few pages about that, but then
Okay.
it'll give you your new bio.
Okay. Yeah, no,
Dr.
I'm pretty
Sharon is
excited
back.
about all this. I'm pretty
Yes.
excited.
Oh, Jadeka, will you please share what happened on a recent podcast interview? What the
Oh,
podcast that you told me about before everyone came on, the one that you pitched? Hey, Dr.
oh,
Sharon, welcome.
okay. I went on and I signed up for a podcast response, and the host wanted to interview. She always interviews her future guests. And so she interviewed me and we talked, and she said that she's booked way out into 2025. So she asked me if I would write an article for her magazine. And by writing an article for a magazine, then I'll become a featured presenter on her podcast in
Oh,
2025. And so that was that was an added plus because I haven't moved to the media. I've just been focusing on the podcast. And the fact that I like to write anyway, that's my first love. So that that came into place. So that's some of the other advantages that comes with dealing with podcasts. You never know what they may be looking for, maybe something else in addition to what you're already offering. So that's what happened to me this week.
that's awesome. The biggest thing I'm hearing here, which is the thing of taking action. Because if you didn't take action, or if we don't take action, then that's the biggest differentiator from people who are not getting anything happening to you getting some new opportunities. So that's great.
That's all it is putting time into your schedule. I have I have a schedule now. I've organized the schedule in terms of what's going to be my podcast search on SpeakerHub, and I'm committed to that, and I do that. And after I complete that, then I go on to do something else. But in the meantime, while I'm even doing something else, messages are coming about, yes, we'd like to have you on the podcast, so can we schedule an interview? So stuff is happening, and you're not using up a whole lot of time. So
Right.
once you put that little bit of time in, then it's like the domino effect that starts happening.
Yeah, that's great.
I think Jadika has found a new slot machine.
Yeah.
That's what it is. This thing is like a slot machine. She's like, if I just keep pushing this button, these sevens keep coming up. I don't know how many gonna come in, but I'm gonna be able to cash out this ticket. You know,
I told you my new toy.
that's it. No, that's what my mama called a slot machine. That's what you reminded me of. You reminded me of my mama. She go to the casino every day to pay her rent. You
Hmm.
know, meaning she rents a seat at the casino. She don't, she not trying to win. That's just her entertainment. So I
Yeah.
get it. You know,
But yeah, that's another great principle of the whole idea of just showing up at the casino or whatever you're doing, showing up, spending enough time pulling the slot or putting the effort in into the slot and keep swinging the bat, so to speak.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like blackjack. If you play enough hands in blackjack, you'll eventually win something. So
yeah,
one of the things that I want to kind of jump in really quickly, and I'll let Angela take back over. So we talk about the flywheel and things of that sort, but none of that works without a strong why, right? It's kind of like a cookbook, right? Um, we've all looked up recipes or Googled them or bought a cookbook and never made the thing. But the minute that somebody comes over to the house that we trying to impress, you know how much people gonna be Googling the best macaroni and cheese next week because they got to take something to the family reunion, or they got family members coming over to their house and they can't be making that Kraft box macaroni and cheese that they used to making. accountability with the person that you're doing the speech for. They're going to hold you accountable to doing a good job, right? So you have that reason to be good. But the only thing that holds you accountable to sending the pitches is the why, right? Now we're trying to add a partner to you to make sure that the partner can kind of be part of the why too. You don't want to let your partner down, your accountability partner, but that why is the fuel to your rocket. And that's one of the things that I think we miss sometimes in software companies is that when you sign up for Instagram, ain't nobody on your back, telling you should be posting more. When you sign up for LinkedIn, they don't give you any accountability to tell you need to fix your profile, right? There's nobody on TikTok saying, hey, this thing you're about to post, this Halloween costume may cost you your job, right? There's no accountability there. And again, we are a speaker amplifying company that just happens to sell software, right? So if it means we got to teach, we're going to teach. If it means we got to hold you accountable, we're going to hold you accountable. Because software is just one of the things one of the tools that we use in the process of getting you on more stages. So Janika, I'm glad you found your why, because you've been consistent, not just with sending the pitches, but showing up. She shows up every day. And you can see her in the background taking notes and clicking the buttons. I don't know if this is her co-working session every day, but she shows up every day and somebody walks up to her and talks to her. She clicks the thing off and gets off camera, go do what she got to do, and she come right back. It's a why. If you can figure out the why, I think that changes everything, So Catherine, nice meeting you. I've never seen you here before, but glad to have you here. Lydia, glad you were able to join us. Corey, you should be all set. We should have upgraded everything in your account. So I don't know if you got the login information. Did you get everything?
I was just asking Angela about that just because I thought I had to redo my whole new account, or was asking if it would migrate, and she said that there are two different systems, so I'll need to just put
Yeah, so you should have got an email from us yesterday.
I did.
With the new login for SpeakerHub Pro, and it's all set up for you on the lifetime side. So
yeah,
everything is all ready to go.
Well, I thought I needed to put in all the other images and everything else, but she showed me how simple it was to, yeah.
No, you're ready to go. You're all good.
Okay.
Ange, I don't know what direction you were going. I can give it back to you. Either I can take control from here. It's really up to you.
We were just doing updates. So I just helped Corey with what he mentioned, and then Dr. Sharon, Lethea, and Catherine came in. And you came in. So,
cool.
So if there was something
Dr.
you wanted to talk about specifically.
Dr. Sharon got a streak going too. She been in her office 9 days in a row.
She's from the bed.
No, I'm just always good to see people. It's good to see people doing well, man. It's a good thing. So, any other questions, comments, concerns, suggestions?
The other side question somebody had posed to me, they had asked me, Corey, do you have any other reservations about speaking, or what you need to be prepared to speak more or to be more professional, whatever? And I was just going to ask, do you guys have, unless I just go to YouTube, whether videos or instructions on how to speak, how to present, because there's like 10 different elements when it comes to speaking. There's the outreach here, there's the positioning, there's when you're speaking, call to actions. Do you guys have any of that stuff, or it's more of just the outreach and positioning?
Yeah, so right now we're really focused on getting people on more stages.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm a firm believer that speaking is like riding a bike. You can't learn to do it from reading a book. You just got to get on the bike, right? You're going to scar your knees. You're going to fall off a few times. But after enough time, you'll eventually pop some willies, right? And there are some different tips and tricks that people can show you, right? But again, I'm not a professional speaker. So I'm not going to say, oh, well, I think you should structure it this way. You better off talking with Lethea or somebody else who, Lethea did 173 speeches in her first 12 months of speaking. Right? So, we did the Pro Speaker Summit where we brought different speakers in to talk about how to structure your talk. One of the best sessions is by Les Brown.
Yeah.
If you go to Les's session, he brought up someone from the crowd and walked them through how to set up their signature talk. And what I learned from that was that Your signature talk is something that you should be able to get in and out of, no matter what crowd you're in front of, because it's you, it's your signature speech that you can go in and out of. So what I tried to do was to take the speaker flywheel and make that my signature talk. I can get in and out of how to get booked based on the speaker flywheel, no matter who I'm talking to. So if you go to prospeakersummit.com, you'll see where replays are available, and you can click on Les Brown and watch his 2-hour session. He did it with no slides. And you can tell that he has given that speech a million times, right? Because at 80, he's still nailing it. I mean, there were people in the viewing audience crying, like in tears, because of the way that he was able to help them to kind of look a bit further into themselves. So currently, we don't offer any speaker coaching on the actual content of your speech. But as I suggested yesterday to Darren, don't be afraid to record your speech, get it transcribed, and then upload the transcript to ChatGPT for feedback. Right? And you can. ChatGPT is good at grammar and storytelling, and grammar and storytelling is all that. It's just that's what a speech is, right? And you'll work on your cadence and things of that sort. But I mean, that's a place to start, right? But if there's any other suggestions on how to write a speech, I ain't gonna give you that advice. Because my promise is only give you the things that I know work, and I'll have you up there beatboxing and doing karate kicks. So Lethea, go ahead. What you got? You want to comment on something? You want to help us out? No,
Yeah,
let me
do
give
you
a
mind?
context. Lethea was the head of marketing for the John Maxwell Company, and she's currently the president of the Black National Speakers Association. She has a bunch of qualifications and letters behind her name from the National Speakers Association worldwide. So she's qualified to give you that advice. I'm not. So I will pass the baton to her and let her tell you how to get in and out of your speech.
Yes,
If
thank you,
that's
Ron.
what she wants to talk about. She may be here to complain about something.
I wanted to just speak to that, and I'll be real brief. But I just wanted to encourage you. And was it Corey? Were you the one asking the question?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So one of the things that I want to encourage you to do is to create a signature system. And your signature system, like Ron has the flywheel. When I was speaking on marketing, I had a 3-step process: brand your brilliance, monetize your brilliance, dominate the market, right? So it was a 3-step process. So when let's just say what your signature system is, your core steps that lead to the transformation that you promised, or the framework or the methodology, right? So when you create that, then for each step in your methodology, what I recommend is that you catalog as many stories as you can under that topic. When I talk about branding your brilliance, I might have 40 to 50 stories that I can use when I'm talking about the concept of branding your brilliance. Because if Ron hired me to come speak to his group in 2024, and then he wants to bring me back in 2026, I could just swap the stories. It will feel like a new speech, but the structure is always the same because it is my body of work. It is what I'm put on this earth to teach and what I'm put on this earth to do. So I want to recommend that once you have a framework, it is easy to put an opening the next. So for example, if I speak at a company and they are publicly traded, by the time I step on stage, I'm a shareholder. Even if it's only one stock or a piece of a stock, right? I am a share owner by the time I step on that stage, and I'm making a connection between my message, the principle, and/or the theme that is connected to the event and the organization that's hosting it. So my opening is wrapped up in that way. But then when I have my 3 points, and 3 points usually is, people can remember 3 things. So I would encourage you to have like a methodology or 3 steps that you talk about and have different stories cataloged under each step. So you have the principle, then you have the story, and then you have the application. How does it apply to the person? for each of those 3 steps. And then you wrap it with a nice bow at the end, you know. So that's how I would recommend that you start with framing out your stories, your speeches.
Thank you.
That
You're
is
welcome.
gold. Like when she said in 3 minutes, I would have spent 3 weeks trying to research. That is a gem. Like the whole idea. I'm doing that. I'm about to write down all the stories. My last name is Story. I need to catalog for my speaker flywheel. I'm about to write all the testimonials, the stories, how I've helped. Yep.
Yep.
Still in it.
Yep.
Still in it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So here's what I want to say, guys. Oh, go ahead, Corey.
I was just going to ask Lethea real quick that do you have any, I know there's probably a ton out there, but any resources that would help you do this? Because what you said is very concise, very specific. However, getting to those things that are very, what you're born here to do and that you're going to do very well at. But any resources that you can think of, or just I can look out there for?
I mean, there are tons of speaker programs. I have not done all of them. And the one that is probably the closest to what I just shared with you, what I shared with you is almost 20 years of me, failing, trying, succeeding, blah, blah, blah. And it's just the system that I now use. So I will just say, Corey, I don't mind spending some time. Just, I'll do a call with you if you need help. I can give you an hour of my time, and I'll put my meeting link in the chat. You can schedule some time, and as a SpeakerHub customer, I would love to support you and just share with you what I said in a little bit more detail, and then answer any questions that you might have.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I'd love to support you. Yeah, we're family at SpeakerHub.
100%. And that's what I was about to say. That guys, the reason why we do these calls is because we, in the network of 62,000 speakers, right? When I met Lethea, I said, Lethea, look, I don't know nothing about speaking. I know how to get people booked. And she was like, I can help you. I'm like, well, what do you mean? She's like, I will get the best speakers I know that believe in what you believe and live up to what you preach to everyone else. And I'll create an ambassadors program. I will find the best speakers. So one day you all saw Frank. Frank is one of those ambassadors, right? Elaine was in. She's one of the ambassadors. Lethea is the person who put together the ambassador program for SpeakerHub. The ambassador program is our highest level group of speakers. And the reason being is because we sponsor them just like Nike sponsors Jason Tatum or Michael Jordan or other athletes that they want to represent their brand. So Lethea, Frank, Elaine, Doris, there's 15 of them all together. They represent what we believe, right? So in that, we want to help them get on as many stages as possible because they live and breathe what we teach on a daily basis, right? Now, there's some responsibilities on the other side. Every once in a while, hop in and give that advice, pass that knowledge down that you spent 20 years gaining, because there's enough speaking gigs for everybody.
Everyone.
Right? So there aren't a limited number of stages. There are an unlimited number of stages, whether it's written stages, podcasts, live stages, virtual stages, associations. There is no limit to the opportunity. So there's no reason for us to hoard the information.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair? So that's why these meetings are so important, because you just never know who's going to pop in and drop a dime. And you're like, yo, this was totally worth it. Right. So there's a couple things you can look up. One is Donald Miller. He has something called the Story Brand, which gives you a very similar framework on how to tell the story, how to take people through Carpenter's, I think it's Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, right? So you learn that framework, right? Another thing that you can do is you can learn to, especially if you're going to be on panels, you could learn basic improv of yes and, never yeah but. You never want to be contradictory. So you take what someone says and you add to it so that it doesn't turn into an argument on the panel, Does that make sense? But I'll give you an easy way to do this also. So definitely meet with Lethea because that's unbelievable. But ChatGPT is a great way to do it. So if you have a topic, right? So what are the things that what's your topic, Corey, that you speak about?
Leadership development.
All right, so I'll just type it. I'm Corey Dunham. I speak on leadership development, right? And you got LinkedIn, Corey?
Yes.
So I'm gonna Corey Dunham. Right?
Ron, I have to drop for another meeting, but I
Oh yeah,
put
go
a
ahead.
comment in the
Thank you for
quotes.
hopping in. This is great. I'll
Yeah,
pass your
my
information to
pleasure.
him.
Okay, and I will put a question in the chat, but I'll put it over in WhatsApp too, so you have it and can
Yep, I'll
easily
answer it in both
access
places.
it.
I'll send you a loom of it.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Corey. I see you already scheduled.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Here is my LinkedIn. Visit my page and write me a bio. So I'm starting there because I wanted to just get you.
Yeah.
Right? Based on this bio and what you can learn by searching online, give me some suggestions of leadership frameworks that I can use with my clients. Right? So what this is doing now, because I don't know any leadership stuff, I just asked it to give me some frameworks. But you
Yep.
may already have your own, right?
Yeah. I've started developing some, but
But here's what you do.
Yeah.
You take this
Yeah.
and you go through and you say, oh, I like this part, I like this part, I like this part. Is that fair?
Yes.
Right? So I'll show you what I did. And this is a little bit of inside baseball, but I'm going to show you how I use this myself. Again, I'm showing you what I do to think through my processes.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know if you'd be able to share this after the fact, after you're done with everything.
Yeah, I'll be able to share the link. I'll share this with
Okay,
you.
awesome. Thank you.
So let me give you a great example of this. So the other day I was working on this, right? So you all may have seen this. So I was watching training on the success path, right? And I'm like, okay, I took a screenshot of it because I couldn't write it down because it was moving and it wasn't a clear slide, but I had it to bring this up, right? And I'm like, okay, I get it. And then this is another slide. You can see it's just a screenshot off of my computer, right? But then I said, well, look, give me an alternative framework for this concept because I can't steal his stuff. I like what he's teaching, but I can't steal it. Does that make sense? That's plagiarism, right? But so they said, well, here's the learn framework. I'm like, that's kind of weak. Let me tell you what I want it to be. I want the first section to be you can learn from a video. I want the second section to be we're going to help you do the homework. I want the third section to be discuss what you learned with the rest of the group. And I want the fourth section to be confirm what you learned with everyone else. This should sound familiar because this is what I talked about yesterday as the thing that makes the speaker launch accountability work. Because this is what I had in my mind, but I didn't have it in a way that worked for speaker launch. Because it's about a rocket taking off. We use the space formula. Everything is about launching, going in the air. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I have this concept of a launch and a formula. So it gives me what I want, but this not hard. It's not easy to remember. Is that fair, Corey?
Yes. Yep.
So look what I said. Can we make this into something easy to remember? Right? And it says like maybe work, and it was like, okay, the work framework. And I'm like, no, I like that, but can you give me some more alternatives? The PACE framework, the doer framework. Oh, the lift framework. Perfect. Lift off. That's what we're calling it. Learn, implement, feedback, test. That's our lift framework that we use inside of Speaker Launch.
Cool.
Right. But you see, it was my principles here that were inspired. I don't believe there's anything new under the sun.
Right.
So when people say, oh, you stole that, this dude took this from somebody.
Right.
This is basic Bible study.
Yeah.
You listen to the guy teach. Every class, you learn math the same way. The teacher writes something on the board, you do it, y'all exchange papers and grade it, and then you go over what the answers are. That's what we do in every class from kindergarten through college. But he put it into 4 T's. Well, I can't use the 4 T's because that's his. But I can use the lift framework. I can use grow. I can use X. We're going to use lift. Right?
Yep.
Does this make sense?
Yep.
Now, here's something else. Here's how you do this. Let me stop sharing for a second. And I'm going to share you something that's pretty interesting. So, right. So we have all of these frameworks that we use. Ange, do you have the link to the frameworks?
I'll get it. Give me 1 minute. I'm sure it's in
I think I
Notion.
have it here. Okay. Yeah. So this is something that we work on all the time, right? So every day I come up with something, right? And we end up with these different ideas. So there's 2 types of stages. You can be the producer, you can be the talent. If you're the producer, that means you put on the event. If you're the talent, you got invited. So there's 2 types of stages. That's our one framework, right? Then they try to make it this way. Well, then this is our 4 growth hacks. Here's our in and out, inbound and outbound. That's what we're teaching here from the flywheel, right? It's a section of the flywheel. We just broke it down, right? This is the emerging elite experienced expert speakers, right? You see how when I show it to you this way, you say, he used this and everything. Yeah, because we think through it, because we're like, we got to get people to remember this stuff. So when you first starting off, then you start getting, you get a darker suntan. Right? But then we got, how do you get paid? You get the BDA framework, before, during, and after. That's how you get paid for a speaking gig. But I just want to show you, this is how I do it, right? There's only 3 speeches you can give. You can improve skill. I don't know what happened there. Somehow that changed. But you can improve a skill. You can help someone to become a better leader, and you can help someone make money. Only 3 speeches given in history. The space framework. That's because we're talking about launching the speaker launch. So our framework spells space. Strategy, pitching, accountability equals consistent engagements. Make sense? So you just keep building these things. And then we got the gravity formula, because again, we're going into space. So you need to be grounded in what? What's your impact? How much impact you're going to make by going on a podcast? So we come up with these different ideas. Well, what's the success formula? This is how many you need to do. Again, I can keep going, but you can see how we work with these frameworks in order to build these things. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, big time. Thank you.
Now, watch this. You go into your thing, and let's go back to the Corey Dunham one, right? And let's say I want my framework to spell Corey. Clarity, ownership, responsibility is probably the R. Let's see. Resilience and yield. Right?
Nice.
So now it tells you the unique selling points of why you should use it. Here's how you can use it in different resources of your own. Right?
Wow.
Now you can say create an image, visual of the framework.
I see this is a ChatGPT 4, a paid version, because I don't
Yep.
have that yet. Okay.
Yeah, it's the one that's $20 a month. I think we pay $60 a month because we have each person has a team, but we can share our stuff across each other. But look at this here,
Wow.
right? Now you got something to work with.
Yeah.
It may not be the final product, but you can see it, the Corey leadership framework, right? That's huge. Maybe you wanted to have 6 steps, call it the Dunham.
Yeah.
Right? It could be called the Dunham framework. You see what I mean? Where
Right.
it's yours.
Yeah.
It should live beyond you.
Yeah.
When you walk out of the room, the person should have something they can take with them to know the steps on implementing it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And then you
Oh, yeah.
teach it over and over and over and over and over. Why? Because if it's true, it will always be true.
Right.
So it should be resilient where it can last and stand the test of time.
Yeah.
How many leaders will always need clarity?
Hmm.
All of them. If you're a leader, do you have to own your SHIT? Yeah, you do. You got to own the good and the bad, right?
Right.
Right? If you're a leader, do you have to be resilient?
Mhm.
Yes. And sometimes you got to let it go. We had this issue this morning on our team, right? My team was frustrated about me. I wasn't being very clear about what I expected. So they said, we need to call a meeting. Wait a minute, this is my company. What you mean we need to call a meeting? We need a leadership meeting, like right now. I'm like, okay, I don't even know what y'all want to meet about.
Yeah.
They came in, they owned what they did. I had to say, yeah, I'm guilty, right? But I couldn't say, y'all can't talk to me like this. So I had to be resilient because
Mhm.
I expect them to do the same thing. I have to lead by example because when I call them to the carpet about something, I can't have them getting
Hold
all
back.
emotional and in a ball because I did that to them. So
Yeah.
no, I got to be resilient, got to be a resilient leader. And then I have to yield to their advice.
Yeah.
Right? I got to be willing to say, yep, my bad. How do you all think I should go forward making it better? We came to a compromise. Everybody felt better afterwards. Cool. Life goes on. It never comes up again until there's another problem.
Yeah.
But you see how that basic framework that we just created, I was able to apply it. I could look back and see how I applied those principles 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
You can build a speech around it. You can build a business around the Corey framework.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
There it is. I'll send you the bill in the mail, man. No.
How about I just give you my credit card or my debit card, and you can just charge me every time you drop a
man, you stuck
bomb.
with us for life. Corey upgraded to a lifetime membership with us, so you're stuck with me until you quit.
Yeah.
You know, and our job is to make sure that you don't. Somebody needs to hear your message, right?
Hey,
Hey,
Ron,
Ron.
I wanted to share with Corey, when you go to Chat GPT in terms of put in your bio and all of your information, and it'll be set so it'll always be speaking the way you think and giving you the answers according to what you want. You put that in there, it'll always write according to how you're thinking.
Nice.
Yep.
Thank
Yep.
you.
And one of the things you can do to make sure that it's there after you type it in, you type in, save this to the memory, update the memory with this information, right? So let me show you. I do this all the time. No, Janika, what you said is gold. And this is just, look, you're going to see me say update. Let's see, save to memory, right? So let me just see what it comes here, right? Look, to my memory. Let me know if there's anything else. To my memory, to your memory with this information, in your memory, in your memory. You see how much I say that? Add this to the existing memory. Anything that's significant that it gets wrong, because it gets wrong stuff all the time. It makes assumptions. We call that a hallucination. You correct the assumption and you say, save this, right? So here's an example of it. Let's see if I can bring up the one that was about space.
Well, he probably, you're not a chat GPT guru, but when I pull this into my free account, like once you share the public link with me, do you know if the free account has that, or I just have to test it out and see?
Well, I don't know if the free account has GPT-4. Oh, it may have 4.0 mini.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right,
Do you
so
see what I mean?
yeah. So once you give me that, I can check that out once we're off
Yeah,
this.
you got to find out which version it has. I
Gotcha.
know that this one has 4.0 or
Yeah.
4.0 as they call it. And here's the thing, it's worth the $20.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely worth the $20. But
I
yeah, I'll
mean,
share this with you. But did you see how easy that is?
yeah, yeah,
And the cool thing about it is that it's yours,
yeah.
right? And then you'll get better. Let me show you. Let's go to our conversation this morning about frameworks and how they start off. So my team was frustrated with me because they say I be giving them too much stuff to. Hey, you give us too many things without a timeline. And what they didn't understand is that I just want the basics. This was the original speaker flywheel, right? That was the original one. And then it turned into this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned into this, where we could stack different levels of speakers, right? But it's missing the thing that we talk about the most. Let me go here. It looks nothing like this flywheel that has inbound and outbound.
Mm-hmm.
You see the evolution?
Yep.
But at first, we just got to get it out there.
To start somewhere.
Yeah, because you got to test it before you invest all this time into design and stuff. Go test it with the market and see what the feedback is.
Yeah.
And then the next time you polish that diamond up, right? Now, why did I do that? Why did I want to tell that story? Because that's an example of what Lethea was talking about. I could have given you another speech on how to create frameworks, but I told you a relevant story that I lived. Remember she talked about just have a bunch of stories about certain things? So
Yeah.
I told you a story that I had just lived this morning. You can tell me you don't agree with how I handle it, but everything I told you was a fact. You can't argue with the factuality of what I taught. That actually happened in my life. So I can own it and speak about it with confidence. Most speakers get caught up when they get on stage and they lie. But when you're just telling the cool stuff that you've done and how you discovered it, authenticity bleeds through. Right? While I was telling that story, you saw Ange's face because Ange was there. Ange watched me cool down because I was in our earlier meet. I'm like, this person never gives me issues, and she is like on my head this morning for some reason.
Yeah,
But
Maria was hot.
I'm like, what are you upset about? And then my attitude changed where I'm like, so, but that's a real story that on stage, nobody can argue with, but everybody can relate to. Is that fair?
Yep. Yep.
So, yeah. Any other questions, guys? This is good. Now everybody knows how to create their
Yes,
frameworks. Now, here's the cool
yes.
thing about it.
We have another question.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
we'll get to it really quick. Here's the cool thing about it. The frameworks thing that you just saw me walk through, it will be released inside of SpeakerHub Pro as one of the AI SpeakerGPT modules within the next week or so. Right? It's in testing right now. Here, let me give you a preview real quick for those who are watching. This is why you want to become a member of SpeakerHub. What is the name of Figma? Right? Here, let me show it to you so you can see it. This is coming out. It's already in testing. And we got some other cool stuff too. This one is one that I'm really proud of.
And I'll have to jump in a few minutes for a meeting, but
yeah, go ahead.
Is it still possible for you to send me that either link through chat or email or something?
Yep, I'll send it. I'm gonna give it to you right now in the chat.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Here. Right.
But yeah, but I don't want to interfere with what you're doing. So.
Oh no, just give me 2 seconds and I will. I want to show you this thing. I like showing off our little toys. Where the heck? Recently viewed, shared files. All right, app design 2024, right? So let me zoom out. And all right, here we go. Do you know what in testing?
No, you're in Figma. I don't touch Figma. I don't want to break anything or mess anything up
I
for
think they.
Maria.
Oh, it's in the PitchDB app. My bad. I'm in SpeakerHub,
Okay.
but it's in PitchDB. So here it is, real quick, Corey. Then I'm gonna share that thing with you. Actually, let me do that at the same time here. While that's loading, let me give you the Corey framework. Boom, share, copy link. All right, it's in the chat for anybody who wants this. I just put it in the chat where you can get access to that thread that we use for Corey. Did you get it, Corey, in the chat?
It says it's inaccessible or not found. So I don't know if you have.
Yeah, I think it's because it's in the version of ChatGPT that you don't have.
Oh, okay.
But I'll try to copy it into a different one to see if it can work in the free one.
Okay.
So this is the frameworks part, right? So whether we use your name, Corey, this one we just use John Doe.
Yeah.
Right? Or we could use your business name and it gives you the framework for your business. Does this make sense? So
Yep.
we're testing a lot of this. That's why I'm so good at doing it, because I do it all the time to make sure that it's going to function automatically. You won't even have to enter anything, and it's going to automatically give you a framework based on your name or your company name and what you talk about. So you don't even have to do any of that stuff. You would just log in and we give it to you.
Right.
Right. So this is right now in testing. But yeah, so you can see it's already designed out. If you don't like it, you can rewrite it. So this is one of the things that
Pretty
process is a part of what we're building. So you're in the right place, man. Glad to have you on board. I know you got to hop off, but glad to have you on board. And you made a heck of a decision. So
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I was going to say, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, let us know if you have any questions for filling out your branding kit and getting started.
Oh yeah, thank you.
So what I'll also do is I will just do a copy paste into a Google Doc.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Yep. That might be simpler. Yeah. Thank you for doing all that too. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. This is what we do.
Yep.
And do you want to go ahead and do the next question?
Awesome.
Yes. So hi Corey. Catherine is here. And Catherine, she found us on LinkedIn. She saw the post about the call. So she doesn't know about SpeakerHub. This is our first interaction with SpeakerHub. So can you give an overview of who we are and why we're here?
Oh yeah, Catherine, nice to meet you. So I'm Ron Story. I am the head of product at SpeakerHub. We help 62,295 speakers to get booked for speaking gigs. And we do that by we've created a version of LinkedIn for speakers where you create a speaker profile. You can have an upgraded account just like LinkedIn Premium, but you can also have something like LinkedIn Sales Navigator or Recruiter where we allow you to pitch our 4 million opportunities. So we have 3.5 million podcasts, 209,000 associations, 173,000 media outlets, and 45,000 conferences that are all looking for people who want to share their message, as long as that message aligns with the mission and the messaging of that event. So that's what we do in general. We help you to get on more stages. We are amplifier speakers. We're not into competing with our speakers. We're here to help you to share your message more and more. Is that fair?
She says she's multitasking, so she's just here listening. But she says she speaks often. Oh, okay.
No, I apologize. I'm multitasking today, but I promise I'm listening in. Thank you so much for that summary, Ron. I appreciate it. Like I said, I was just on LinkedIn, scrolling today, don't do a whole lot, and came across a post. I was like, let me just hop in and see what's going on. But everything that you've been talking about, is golden. So I appreciate it so much.
Oh yeah. So really quickly, how do you get booked now? Are you doing outreach now to get booked?
Yeah, so I have an assistant who does some outreach. Some of it I get just inbound from previous speaking engagements. I have folks that will reach out if they've been there, if they've connected with someone who's been there. So it's a combination of both and.
Okay, no, that's great. So I'm going to share with you what I want you to. If you can take 2 seconds and watch the screen here
Yeah.
in your multitasking. I'm going to share with you something that I think can give you more speed um, with your assistant. So when you heard Jadika talking about sending pictures and Dr. Sharon and Corey, this is what they're using. So this
Okay.
is where we have our 3 million podcasts, 209,000 associations, 170,000 media outlets, and 45,000 conferences. Now, I want to show you why that's important. When you come in and you put in your basic information here, it's going to write a
Mhm.
bio for you automatically, right?
Okay.
So, really quickly, what's your topic?
I'm a grief and trauma specialist.
What is it?
Grief and trauma.
Okay, I help um, individuals to overcome grief and trauma. Do you have a particular method that you use using
Uh, I,
the
I do. I have it called the BREAK formula. BREAK is the framework that I use.
and what does that mean?
B is for believe that you can do hard things. The R is a play on the word write. Write your story. The E is enlist your support system. The A is I'm blocking on just because you asked me. Assign and accept your emotions. And the K is know that there is a future.
Okay, what's the E again?
The E is enlist your support.
A is what?
It assign and acknowledge rather and accept your emotions. And the K is know that there is a future.
Right? Because ChatGPT don't understand everybody's framework, so we have to teach it. So watch what happens here. So
Okay.
now it's gonna write my bio as if I'm you.
Got it.
I'm using my account since you don't have time to set up yours, but it's gonna write the bio as if I'm you. It's gonna look at my LinkedIn, it's gonna tell you about me, but it's gonna adopt the break formula as if I am you teaching that as a trauma specialist.
Got it.
So give it a few seconds here. It's probably a bit confused because like, Ryan, you ain't no daggone trauma specialist.
You upset it.
There it is. Right? I'm committed to aiding individuals in overcoming grief and trauma through innovative break framework with the passion for personal growth and emotional healing. I guide individuals through the crucial steps of belief, writing their story, enlisting support, acknowledging their emotion, and knowing that there's a future. My approach is designed to empower individuals, helping them to navigate the journeys, blah, 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 right?
Got
So
it.
that was just, and that's a rough thing because that's not even me.
Mhm.
Imagine if you could look at your LinkedIn and look at your website, how much better
Right.
it would be. Now, when I click on podcast, I'm already being matched with the right podcast.
Hmm.
You see, it's giving me empowerment and things like that,
Right.
right? So when I want to go on this empowerment podcast here,
Huh?
the cycle of violence through self-defense, cool. I'm like, yeah, I can go on here. I come here and I add it to a list. Once I do that, all I do is click pitch. It's going to look at my bio, look at this
Mhm.
podcast, and write a customized pitch for me as a guest on that podcast.
Gotcha.
Give it 5 seconds here, and there it is. I hope this message finds you well. My name is Ron Story. I'm passionate about guiding people through this. The Empowerment Podcast focuses on interrupting that cycle of violence and self-defense, right?
Gotcha.
And we make it look ugly because we want to force you to edit it.
Hmm.
That way we know you've read through it and it kind of relieves us
Make it
of
your
the
own.
liability. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So then all I do is click send.
Okay.
That's how it works. You want to go speak
Got
at
it.
a conference, you can see we have these different wellness conferences or whatever. That's what's coming up because of your grief and trauma thing
Mhm.
as a topic. So now I click pitch, same process. It goes through and it will write the customized pitch for me to be a speaker at that conference.
Gotcha.
Right? So there it is.
Thank you
Hey,
so
wellness
much.
team, are you currently looking for speakers for this year's event or a future event? I'm Ron and I'm committed to over blah, blah, blah. This is what we do. Make sense?
Love it. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Ron. I appreciate you walking me through that.
Oh yeah, no problem. So yeah, this is what we do. You can track everything in the mailbox here. You can see all the pitches that I have set up. You can see the ones I've sent, you know, the ones that are waiting, the ones that I've booked. All of that is trackable right here in the system.
Awesome. Thank
That's
you.
what we
Thank you.
do. Cool. Any other questions? Let's answer Lethia's question. So I think you're muted, Ange. We can't hear you.
Definitely unmuted. Lethea wanted to know if the updates that she asked about last week have been done. So when her team member pitches, is the contact removed from the
No,
list of
it takes too
potential?
long. It's going to take too long to fix that. So
And
that's
are the
not
pitches
available.
of the team member now attributed to her?
No, they won't. It's the logic behind that probably take 2 months to do because
Okay.
of the fundamental way. It's a baseline thing that where we would have to restructure and redevelop a whole bunch of other things in order to show that data. So it just won't be able to happen. She's just gonna have to pitch.
Okay. And they could work around it by if one person pitched associations and someone else pitched podcasts. The concern was duplicating efforts. So there are
Just
ways
pitch.
around it. Yeah.
The answer is just pitch. If you end up sending them a question and you send them 2 pitches, oh well.
It doesn't
Hey,
matter.
apologize. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. Just apologize. But yeah, that's something that'll probably be ready by February. But when I had the conversation with Miguel, he was like, dude, this is going to break a lot of stuff. So
You
yeah,
can't
it's
do
one
it.
of those permanent flaws that we just have to live with for now.
Mm-hmm.
Thought it would be
That was
easier, but
those are her only 2 questions. And then Dr. Sharon, a few updates from Dr. Sharon. Do you want to share that you just sent me about being PR
uh-oh.
pitches and the
I think
podcast?
them diplomas getting warmer. Them diplomas getting warm over there.
Yeah, I've been following up. And so while you were on here, it popped up on my phone from a podcast inviting me to come on. They just want to know what day I was available. So that just happened.
How incredible is that? That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it is.
that's a big deal.
And
And it's something that I want to do. It's called Proverbs 31 woman kind of thing. So that's my wheelhouse. So
Yeah.
that works for me.
When you get on there, once you get it recorded, send it to your husband. Say, look what I did. Look, the degrees
Oh,
warming up.
believe me, he's seen a lot. He just needs to see money. He's like, show me the money.
Yeah, that's part of it. When I was a financial advisor, I was really good at making friends with people because I'm like, look, I gotta, they need to trust me before they invest their money with me. And the guy Phil, he said, Ron, this ain't show friends, this show business. You can't pay your rent with these friendships unless they're gonna loan you some money. You need to get them to invest their money with you so that you can actually do what they pay you to do. And so I understand. It ain't show friends, it's show business. So any other questions, guys, while we're here?
yes, one more. Dr. Sharon and others are now in PR pitches in the Facebook group. And Dr. Sharon asked, so what do I do now? So will you share about what the expectations are from when you join PR pitches and, what do you do once you're in?
So PR pitches, the purpose of being in the group is to get you writing credentials for different publications. So very similar to when Janika was talking about, she went on a podcast and someone asked her to write in their magazine. we have 170,000 media outlets that you can go write for. So when you come in here and you go to your media page, maybe you want to talk about, like with me, since I was a financial advisor, I could reach out to Elliot Gu, who's the associate editor here at Personal Finance magazine, right? And I can say, hey, Elliot, I would love to write an article for your magazine. So watch this. When I click pitch, you notice the other ones it wrote for podcasts and then it wrote for conferences. Now it's going to write for a media outlet, asking if, there's some work I can do for them. Are you looking for speakers for your or any future events? That's a flaw. We got to fix that because that's not supposed to say speakers. It should say writers or contributors. Does that make sense? So I'm going to take that and I'm going to put this in the dev group. And that should say, are you looking for contributors? But you know what I can do? I can come here and change that myself. Right? Do you see what I mean? So I can go in and I can edit that and send that pitch directly. Now, or Kamanzi, who runs that group, he wrote these templates. Right? So if I want to be a contributor, I can come in here and I can do this. I can create my own template and then drop that template in, customized for that magazine or speaking gig if I don't want to use AI. Does that make sense? Now, so that's what the group is about. He teaches how to do this. But every Friday, he brings someone in that's an editor that walks you through how to get pitches approved, or they may have a topic that they're accepting pitches for. So there's a live training every Friday in his Zoom that we put on. Got it? So, yeah, that's what it is.
Will they invite me to that training or I just have to look out for it?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're in the group, the link is usually posted every week.
Okay.
Yep.
So Catherine, we are here every day, Monday through Friday at 12 EST, and you're welcome to continue to join and come back if you have questions.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Noon Eastern, we're
welcome.
here for at least an hour. Today we're 9 minutes of overtime. If y'all don't have any other questions, then we can close it down because I got to get ready for my 1:30, 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock. I got 8 meetings this afternoon. So I'm gonna go try to get some lunch in the middle of this. So, all right.
All right.
I will
Thanks,
see you all
everyone.
tomorrow if you show up, or if not, have a great Thanksgiving.
Bye.